So let's talk about routing for a minute. So what does routing mean? Routing is a way of navigating through our Flutter application. So what that means is that if I click on this button, I actually want to return back to the login page. Currently, this doesn't do anything. So we need to find a way of telling our application that when we click on this button, it should take us to our login page. And for it to get to the login page, it has to pass through a route. So what we want to do now is to go ahead and set up our routing system or set up different routes that we can use to navigate to the registration page, to the login page, and to our main page as well. So currently this doesn't do anything, so we will start from here. So without wasting any further time, let's get right into it. So this is our registration page. There is a very neat and easy way of setting up routes, and I think that's what we are going to be using within our application. So to do that, I'm going to go to the top part of our class. So I'm going to go ahead and define a new string. I'm going to call this string ID, but I'm going to make this string as well to be a static variable. By making it static, it means that we can access it from anywhere within our application. So I'm going to call this ID. So the string is going to be register. So we are going to be using this ID to denote the route for our registration page. So as soon as we've done that, the next thing we need to do will be to go into our login page and do the same thing. So I can copy this and go into our login page. Here the ID is going to be login. And we need to do the same thing for our main page. So here I'm going to have main page. Now to set up the routes, we need to go into our main.dat file. That's where everything happens. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and define routes. So the first named route that I'm going to set up will be the route for our registration page. And we are going to make use of the ID as we already explained before. So I'm going to say registration page.id. So I'm going to type in our context, and this is going to take us to our registration page. So anytime we call on this named route, that is registration page.id, is going to take us to registration page. So the next route to set up will be the login route. So I'm going to have login page.id. So this will take us to our login page. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing for our main page. Alright, so now that we successfully set up our route, the next thing we need to do will be to indicate the initial route, which is more like the home page. So instead of making use of home, I'm going to change this to initial route. So this is not a route. Instead, I'm going to make use of registration page.id because I want my app to start from registration page. So I'm going to have registration page.id. So it means that as soon as the user launches the app, the first page that shows up will be the registration page. So if we want this to be different, if maybe we want the user to see the login page first of all, we can go ahead and use login page.id instead. So for now, I think this will suffice. Now the next challenge that we have is to make it possible for our users to navigate from our registration page to our login page. So how to do that is very simple as well. So I'm going to go into the registration page. So in the unpressed callback for the flat button, which is this place that says already have a writer's account, login. So what I want to do is to move from our registration page to our login page. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and say navigator dot push named and remove until context. We're going to go ahead and provide our login route, which is where we want to go to. And bam, this is all that we need to do. So this will go ahead and take us to our login page. And in the same vein, we can go into the login page and navigate to our registration page. So at this point, I can go ahead and say navigator dot push named and remove until. So here I can go ahead and provide the registration page route, which is registration page.id. And this is all that we need to do. So there is a lot of different ways you can use to navigate from one page to the other. But what I just showed us is how we can navigate using named routes. Alright, you can actually move from one page to the other without having to manually set up the route initially. So in your own spare time, you can go ahead and take a look at other methods of navigating from one page to the other. But I know that as we progress into the course, we will see different methods that we can use to move from one page to the other. Now, to confirm that what we've done so far works, I'm going to go ahead and hot restart our application. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this button, and bam, I have my login page. And if I click here, I have my registration page. Bravo guys, we successfully set up our routes. So this will be all for now. See you in the next class.